Water. Earth. Fire. Air. For millennia, the four nations have lived in harmony. A peace made possible by the Avatar. The one person with the ability to master all four elements and protect the delicate balance between nations. When one Avatar dies, their spirit is reborn into a new body in an eternal cycle. Since the death of the last Avatar, the new incarnation has yet to emerge. And so, Fire Lord Sozin, the ruthless leader of the Fire Nation, believes this is his moment to launch a merciless campaign to conquer the world. His first step is to eliminate the one person who could stand in his way. The next master of all four elements, an airbender, who may not be ready for the responsibility of becoming the Avatar.
Welcome. This is Elemental Idea. My name is Arlo, and today we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender from Netflix. So, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was really excited for this project. And, well, spoilers. Be aware, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to be talking about everything that happens in the animated show and in the live action show. And you can catch all these shows on Netflix. Okay? So, I love Avatar. I love this world, and I love what it is. And the show is not as good as the animated one. And that's what it is. And I saw what they did in episode 2 with Kyoshi, and that's what they should do. This show should be about Kyoshi and not about Aang. They should leave Aang as animated show and then just make a prequel about Kyoshi, and that one would have been fire. Fire, my favorite element, right? Okay. How I say this? It's not a bad show. It's just an average show. Right? And I didn't know no one that wanted to see this that didn't saw the animated one first. So I don't know how it's gonna be your experience coming blank without knowledge, and this being your first experience with the world of Avatar. But if you watch the animated show, probably a lot of you did, this show is gonna disappoint you. Why? Because it's too short, right? They do changes, and I understand the changes have to be made because the format is different. Now it's live action, and before was animated. But these changes don't work all the time. Right? First, the good stuff. The good stuff is the bending looks really impressive, looks nice, looks realistic, especially firebending. Firebending is fire. Right, and airbending is also cool, right? And then we'll have airbending always being like really nice. In this show is also good. And last will be waterbending, and I have an issue with the waterbending, and it's this: people don't get wet. They use water, they get hit with water, and they're dry.
haven't you?
And I don't know why. And I really noticing there's a scene when Katara fight with Baku, and she actually hit him in the face, in the back of the head with a whiplash of water or whatever, and he's dry. He doesn't get wet. That bothers me. Bothers me a lot. Nitpicking. That's nitpicking. All right. Other than that, the effects are good. All right. So casting wise, they have half of the casting excellent, and the other half is it's just not what it is. I'm gonna tell you. Aang, the kid who actually plays Aang, he is Aang. He's really good. The fighter lore is the representation. The fighter lore, Iroh, Zuko, Katara, and that's it. In the other hand, we have Azula, Mei, Ty Lee. These characters first don't look as these characters, don't act like these characters, and they suck. The guy who does Sokka is like a medium ground. It's like, for me, it's kind of too old, but it's only too old because the rest of the cast is too young, and he, in compared to them, he looks out of place. But the guy do embody Sokka. All right, so that's for that. All right, so the main plot of Avatar, The Last Airbender, is the same as the show. There is one master of the four elements, and the Fire Nation attack the other nations. They kill all airbenders. They have a war with the rest of the world, and they're winning. And the Avatar is the only one who can stop it. And the Avatar is the master of the four elements, and he can communicate with the spirit world. And you should know this plot already, right? So the first season of the show, and there's already a second and third season, so we will see the end of this. And I hope they fix a lot of issues they have. One of the main issues is, I know that the bending is expensive, and I know they spend a lot of money in the end of the season with the Godzilla monster.
Uncle, what is that? That is wrath.
The spirit of the water fight, all right, and that looks really good. But there is a lot of this show that someone film it like if they're filming it with an iPhone and they put the blur in the back. They have so many close-ups. Every single time a character is giving you exposition, but that's basically what they do. They don't talk, they exposition the way out the show. They giving you this close-up to their face, like this. Hello, hey, oh. And then go to the other character and, oh, really? That's impressive. Did you know what, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know why so many close-ups. I do know. It's to save in the background. They didn't build too many sets, I guess. And they want to use the green screen like a lot. In the time they do that, it gets annoying. And they need to fix that. I'm gonna give an example. They're walking to the spirit world, and this is a forest. I mean, it's a set. You can see it's a set. And I don't know why they need to put these close-ups. Just make these actors walk in a forest. It's not that hard. And I guess there is a couple of sets they need to be done. But well, let's go step by step. The first part, they go to Kyoshi Island, and the girl who plays Suki is amazing, and she's gorgeous too. And this girl should be Azula or May. She really should be this. And the one playing Azula should be Suki. Why? I'm gonna explain why. Because of the makeup. The Kyoshi Warriors do a full ass makeup, the high hair features, right? But yeah, and she looks like she can fight. And she actually looked like a sister from this guy Zuko, right? From the actor. So they meet Kyoshi and Kyoshi Island, and Aang can communicate with Kyoshi, and Kyoshi tell her like, yeah, you should, you fell, and you should kill the Fire Lord, and you should be an asshole to everybody because I was a successful avatar. And that is one of the first changes the show made, and communicate with the spirits of his past life in the temples of the avatars. All right, and I'm okay with that. It's not a change that's gonna affect me. It is cool. The Kyoshi scene is cool. Aang goes to the avatar state and fight, become Kyoshi and fight with the Fire Nation. And that's awesome. That whole fight is awesome. The whole Kyoshi setup. The town looks like the one in the show. Oh, yeah, that part is really cool. Right. Then we go to Omashu.
That's Omashu!
Here's where the problem starts. The main problem is Kim Bumi. Kim Bumi is an old friend from Aang, but he's just resentful and he apparently hates Aang now, and that was dumb. Sorry, but at the first one, Kim Bumi is an old crazy guy, but he's old and he knows stuff. So what he does, he put tests on Aang to making him get ready to be the Avatar. That's not what happened in this one. In this one, he's just trying to get revenge, and eventually he get a change of heart and get friends with Aang again, and that is kind of lazy. Right? The other part that happened in Omashu is they mix the Jet storyline with the, I don't remember the name of the guy, but it's this guy. Okay, and Jet is this guy. Okay. They make those storylines, and this is the guy who do the gadgets and stuff, and they put Sokka in here, and that was another big change. And they give Sokka this, and it's also in the series. Sokka is the one who helped him to be like an engineer, and they try to set up Sokka in that regard. In the show, Sokka is like a strategist, and he is an spy for the Fire Nation. But the reason he's a spy is because the spy says, if you don't help us, we're gonna burn everybody, and he's trying to do it for the good of the city, right? Jet find out, try to kill everybody, they have the conflict, and They try at this moment, Anne is with Kim Bumi and Katara and this kind of stuff. Sokka never spoke to Jet at all. So there is this when Katara fight with Ahsoka about Jet. That is like, but you don't know this guy. Why you're judging him like that? You have to watch the show to make sense of some stuff that's happening here, at least from my point of view. All right, moving on. Happens what you have to happen. Jet get killed apparently. Katara realized that he is not a good guy. He's a murderer. Just in this side. Okay, he's good. It's not a bad change. The only stuff is this is too many stuff happening in Omashu, and they don't have a reason for it. Like the Cabbage guy. The Cabbage guy is here in Omashu, but it have no point, right? Because for that to make sense, you have to be already knowledgeable about the animated show. In this, it's just a guy who screamed "Cabbage Edge, my Cabbage Edge," and that's weird, right? So they give it a whole new storyline to Azula, and it's a misstep, right? For me, they should have left her out because there's too many stuff in the show already, and there's too few episodes. Right? So Azula, in the animated show, was psychotic, but it also was disciplined, and she's a prodigy. She probably is the best fighter bender that ever lived. That's why she have this blue fire. And by the way, no blue fire. Why? That's so dumb. So here Azula is trying to prove herself to the Fire Lord, and the Fire Lord is testing her, and she is good. And they try to imply that she is still a prodigy because she do the lighting, and it looks nice though. The effects are good. She fired the lighting, and the lightings go nowhere, and they like it's not as powerful as it should be. It's not as big as a moment as it should be, and I don't understand why the fire is not blue. And I read some place that they're leaving that outside to bring it later to like give it like a level up to Azula is dumb, right? Because in the animated show, and this is gonna be a lot of comparisons with the animated show, if you don't like it, don't make a retelling from an old show. That's how it goes. If you're doing a retelling, right, a reboot or animated show or whatever, you're gonna get comparison. So basically, now my Azula, this Azula is, it doesn't feel threatening. You don't feel. Plus, this actress is like way too cute. Like she looks like a puppy. It's like a bunny is trying to coerce you to do stuff, like a bad bunny. Like you remember, like this movie, The Imperator Grew from Disney, and the evil lady gets like becomes to a bunny. That's Azula, that bunny. She's an evil character inside, but she's a bunny, and you cannot take her seriously. Even when she's trying to look like menacing, she looks adorable. And I think that's not the look that they were going for. May and Ty Lee have nothing to do. The actresses don't look like May and Ty Lee, and that's a problem because it's a comparison. These two actresses, the one who do May, she also is way too adorable. And May is supposed to be this nihilistic character, and she's like, they have like these bear-like features. Well, it's a miscast, and I hope they replace it for the second and third season. Like they change it, nobody gonna care. Put someone else. And someone mentioned me the age of the characters has to be, and it was like, I don't care so much about that because In movies and TV, we usually have people playing younger characters that are older, right? And sometimes it works, sometimes not. And it's okay if we age up a little bit these characters, because this series is trying to be a little serious, a little more depth, less funny, so you can grow up the characters to get that. The Fire Lord, I don't like what they did with the Fire Lord. They tried to put some story behind it, but it looks like an asshole. And when they do the fight with the Acne guy with Zuko, it looks like Zuko could win. He have the upper hand. That will never happen. That will never happen. The whole point of Zuko is that he's trying, but he's not as good as the rest of his family, right? And the Fire Lord is supposed to be awesome. Plus, the way the Zuko get the scar, I didn't like it.
Rise and fight, Prince Zuko, so you can learn some respect.
Is this everything? Give me everything! Compassion is a sign of weakness.
In the show, you don't see it. You assume that the Fire Lord just fire a fireball at him and he get burned. And this show, he goes into her son and do it like slowly, and that's weird. If you wanna make it like, yeah, this Fire Lord is worse than the one in the show, but then you have a scene that the Fire Lord goes to visit Zuko at the hospital, and he said like, I'm trying to teach you, and it's like, this is not Ozai. Ozai doesn't have these kind of feelings that teaching. And I guess they're trying to make some depth, but they do this with Iroh. And by the way, Iroh, the guy who plays Iroh, I like it a lot. First time I saw it was in Kim's Store. It's a Canadian show. It's also on Netflix. You should catch it. This guy has been in Star Wars too, and the guy is pretty good. And that guy is Iroh, right? The main problem with this show is the script, because it's way too exposition. Oh, and we have a couple of characters that are just about exposition. We have Gran, Katara grandmother, and she is exposition lady. Every time she opens her mouth, she is giving you some information that you already know. She actually gives you the same information twice in the show. That's annoying. And then we have Katara's mom. They show you like her mom sacrificed for her, and she's also exposition lady. And that's an issue with this show, because every single step of this show, someone is telling you what is happening, because you're not allowed to see it, you just need to know it. Spirit world. In the spirit world, we get some depth, but they change the spirit world from being something there is a good part and bad part. In the spirit world, Anne gets reunited with Meng Xiao and his master, and that's a nice scene, and it gives you some depth into Anna like that. I don't like Sokka gets to meet Wolf, and this Wolf is gonna end up being the princess for the North Pole, and Aang gets to meet the face stealer, and the face stealer is just mad because Roku steals something from him and give it back, and that's how he rescue everybody. They messed her up. They messed her up completely. Other stuff that I didn't like: the avatars, the past avatars. The past avatars are not in agreement with themselves. And that's weird because it's supposed to be the same person. It's your soul, just through different life. And your soul is telling you contradictory stuff, fundamentally contradictory stuff. And this is something that doesn't happen in the show. I like that the avatar from the water tribe have a little more depth, but it's wasted. I don't like what they did with Roku. Poor Roku. He's like a weird Chinese jokey character. And in the show, Roku is like the top avatar, is the actual. And he does not destroy the temple. I wanted to destroy the temple so bad. That was a cool scene when Avatar Roku gets out of the temple and he destroyed the treacherous sages. That was awesome. It didn't happen. And I was bothered. But yeah, Roku is a messed up also. Not the character. The guy looks really nice. All the avatars looks amazing. Costume design, production, even effects. Like even my complaint about the close-ups, the series looks really nice, really good. They need to have more time, right, and let these characters breathe a little more. Because what happens is they don't let these characters breathe, and they throw in exposition at you all the time, and that's what makes it so clunky. June, this also another candidate to be Azula. She looks amazing. Every single scene that she's still in that scene. She embodies the animation character, but it was pointless. This is one of the stuff you could cut out of the show to give more room to others to breathe, because this character doesn't have like a long-lasting role in the rest of the show, right? It's not like Jet will come out again and you will circle back to him, but this character will not. But I enjoyed watching her. That was nice.
Look, it's the Northern Water Tribe. It's perfect.
The North Pole are the last two episodes, and it's exactly how it goes in the animated show. This is I have one complaint here, and it's with Princess Yue and that wig. What is happening with that wig? I see cosplayers do this cosplay way better, and I understand it is a replica of what it is in the animated show with the wave and but it's an awful wig. It kept me out. Every time I saw her, I was like, damn, this looks like bad. So yeah, Amber Midthunder, she have a lot of charisma, and this charm is what make that actually work. All right, she's really good. I hope they kill her with that wig. It was like awful. I think they don't have to be the wig of the characters. I understand that the animation is one way, is easier, right? And bring it to live action is harder, right? But you can get away with a lot, all right? You just need to be a little more, I don't know, have a better eye. If you see that wig is awful, don't do the whole top like layer. If you change the way, well, I guess if you change it how it goes, people will get upset. But if it's gonna look as bad as it did, you should change it. Yeah, that's my whole point about it. We remember. I remember I told you that in the spirit world, Sokka made a fox. She's the fox. That's another change that they did. I did not understand it. Have no connection. Like why she's a fox? Why she's in the spirit world? They try to say like, yeah, she goes to the spirit world because she's half like spirit, because when she was young, she was saved by the spirit of the moon. That's okay. Well, cool. Let's talk a little about Zuko. This guy is awesome. This guy is Zuko. They need to let it fail. The whole point of Zuko is that Zuko begins like a bad guy, and he realizes the error of his way and changes. They don't let Zuko do this, right? They put it as a good guy all the time. That's gonna be less because later on you want him to change. So it's not gonna change. He's just gonna keep being good. So in the second season, they need to let him go. But the actor is really nice, really good. He is Zuko too. He embodies the personage really well. I want to talk about this guy. This guy name is Ryu Iskandar. Hoping I'm pronouncing your name okay, man. Is the lieutenant from the boat of Zuko. This guy in the animated show have like 2 lines and that's it. Over here, he's stingy all the time. I don't know why he has so many lines, why he has so many plot points, why he talks so much. Like they give this character like way too much, and it's irrelevant because he won't transcend to the second or third season. So this is another stuff you could have cut. The only reason he's here is because you figured out that when Zuko get the Agnikai and the people he talk about, he tried to save these soldiers that are with him, and that's the reason why these soldiers are with him. All right? And it's kind of nice because they have this scene that they give respect to Zuko, but this should happen later. Not right now. Zuko needs to be an asshole now to later become change. Right? It's the same with Sokka. Sokka needs to be more than an asshole so he can change and grow. Right? Other couple stuff. Aang does not learn any water bending. And that's a problem because he should know a little bit at least of water bending because he's in the North Pole. Right? So that's gonna be an issue for the last 2 seasons. But okay, those are my main complaints. The animated show is still better. Rewatch it, and I'm gonna probably do a recap on that just to get in line with these Avatar seasons. It's not a bad show; it's an average show. It has some good points, some bad points. I was really into it for the first 2 chapters. In the middle, Inomachu, it gets slow and then it picks up a little bit at the end of it. So the end of it is really good. It's exactly like the show and you get excited. So, do I recommend to watch this? Yes, go and watch it. You're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a good time. It's not as good as it should be, but let's hope that for the second and third season, they're gonna make the changes they need to make, and they need to make a lot of changes. Cast-wise, Azula need to change fast, because she's gonna have a bigger role in the second and third season, and they need to show it. Also, Osai need to get like heartless. So, okay, so that's my review. Those are my ideas on the topic. And don't get me wrong, I love Avatar and I enjoy this show a lot, but I'm just giving you a heads up about this. And if you want to see more, click here to see more. And this was Elemental Idea. If you like it, subscribe. My name is Arlo. Bye.